Good morning, and welcome to Day 3 of the 2020 ASAE Virtual Annual Meeting in Exposition. This is Association's Now Daily, and I'm Julie Shoup. Thank you for joining me. Over the past 2 days, we hope you've been finding that there's a productive and fun way to be together, even when, well, we can't be together. Now, here are a few questions to percolate on with your coffee this morning. Do you know the difference between creativity and innovation, and what gets in the way of both, and how you can fix that? Well, I have good news for you. Duncan Wardle does, and he's going to tell you all about it later this morning. We'll be chatting with the former Disney executive in a few moments to give you a preview of what he has in store in today's keynote session. We'll also get a few tips on career building during a pandemic from an Association Career HQ career coach. And we'll introduce you to a few international attendees who are joining us here at the virtual annual meeting from around the world. Association professionals really are a global community. But before my colleague Rashida Childress gets us started with a conversation with Duncan Wardle, I'd like to thank Visit Dallas, the sponsor of today's show. Here's a brief message from Visit Dallas.
Hello, I'm Craig Davis, President and CEO of Visit Dallas. The past several months have been difficult for Dallas, and we know they've been challenging for you as well. When it's safe to meet again in person, we hope you'll rediscover Dallas for your next meeting. Our hotels, the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center Dallas, and city-owned arts and cultural institutions are the first in the country to work towards achieving the Global Biorisk Advisory Council's GBAC Star accreditation, ensuring a sanitary and safe environment for our visitors and meeting attendees. We've been working hard to safely reopen, and we can't wait to welcome you back to Dallas in 2021 and show you how Dallas delivers.
No matter what's on your checklist, Dallas delivers.
The city gets behind us in such a strong way. There's a world-class airport, easy access to downtown.
The Dallas Convention Center is a great venue.
Dallas offers a wide range of hotels, all in close proximity to each other.
One of the great things about Dallas is it's affordable.
The labor costs are about 20% less.
The Visit Dallas team service is exceptional.
I love to have fun, and Dallas delivers that.
To see all the ways Dallas delivers, visit dallasdelivers.com.
I'm Rashida Childress, and I'm happy to welcome today's keynote speaker, Duncan Wardle. Duncan spent more than 25 years at Disney, where he headed innovation and creativity. He went on to found Ideate and Innovate, a company that helps organizations embed a culture of innovation in everyone's DNA. Thanks for joining us, Duncan. We're really looking forward to your keynote address on innovation in the time of crisis. But let's back it up a bit. The term innovation gets thrown around a lot. Can you tell us what it really means to innovate?
Well, good morning, and thank you very much indeed for having me. Delighted to participate. I define creativity as the ability to have an idea and innovation as the ability to get it done. But the challenge with creativity is we're all born creative. You were born creative. I was born creative. We used to play a lot. And then as we get older and we go to school, we're told there's only one right answer, so we stop looking for the second one. And as we get jobs in different fields, we're always told, you're not creative. And we end up thinking we're not creative and we can't innovate. But I define creativity as the ability to have that big idea, and innovation is the ability to actually get it done.
So what are some of the challenges that usually stop organizations from being innovative?
We found 5 at the Walt Disney Company. We surveyed 5,000 people at Lucasfilms, Pixar, Marvel, Disney, ESPN, ABC, and we asked them what were the barriers to being more innovative inside a very large organization. Number 1, by a very long time to think. I don't have time to think. Number 2 is I'm risk averse. I've got quarterly results to meet, therefore I can't take a risk. Number 3 was we tend to be a more product-centric culture than a consumer-centric one, and focus more on what we know best than what's important to the consumer. Number 4 was we found ideas got stuck, diluted, or killed as they moved through our approval processes. And number 5 was we all had a very different definition of innovation, and so we wanted to create a common definition and a common toolkit that made innovation easy, creativity tangible, and the process fun. And I'm looking forward to sharing some of that toolkit with the attendees later today.
And so given that those are some of the challenges, what are some of the things that an organization can do to try to spur innovation?
I think the first thing is to get past this constant shooting down of ideas. The more experience we have, the more expertise we have, the more reasons we know why an idea won't work. And we constantly sought to shoot it down. And so it's rather than starting, I'm going to be talking about this at the conference later today, is rather than constantly shooting ideas down, just remind yourself you're not greenlighting this idea for execution today, you're just greenhousing the idea together.
And we focused a lot on organizations, but they're all sort of made up of people. So if any of our viewers are wondering what they can do to be more innovative in general, either for their work or personally, what kind of advice do you have for them?
I think the biggest one is for all of us, as our biggest barrier to innovation is, in fact, our own expertise and our own experience. The more expertise and experience we have, the more we jump into what I call our river of thinking, and we're really good at doing what we do. But we're being asked to get out of that river of thinking and disrupt more and more often. And I'm going to be sharing a series of tools today to help you stop thinking the way you always have and to help you think differently with big, innovative ideas that you can actually get done.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for your time, Duncan. I didn't think it was possible, but I'm more excited now to hear you present. Back to you, Julie.
Thanks, Rashida. Now, as we all know, because we all put on conferences, one of the main reasons people attend these events is to advance their career. At a conference, you can obtain continuing education and work or maintain your credential, but you also reconnect with your professional network, hopefully expand it, and maybe even cross paths with someone who ends up providing a link to your next great job opportunity. Joining me now is Vikram Kapoor, who is part of the team of career coaches available to the association community through Association Career HQ. He's here to share some advice on cultivating your career in these uncertain times. Thank you for joining me, Vic.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as you well know, the job market has shifted dramatically in just a few months. Hiring is down, people are experiencing furloughs and layoffs. In this environment, what should job seekers be doing to increase their chance of a successful job search, especially knowing that it may be even harder now to stand out in the crowd?
I think it's so important now to really double down on your purpose and your mission, to get really clear about what your calling is, so that you can elaborate on that when you're speaking with recruiters and with other individuals who might be able to get you that next position. Most of us spend a lot of time applying for jobs on job boards and getting rejected, frankly, because there's just a high volume of people applying in that way. But if you can build the network internally at the organizations you want to work at, then you have a much better chance in the long run of developing those relationships into something that can create the next opportunity for you.
So are employers looking for different skills or qualities in their employees now?
I would say yes and no. They're certainly looking for technical expertise as they were always, but they're also looking for adaptability, resilience, flexibility, um, being an entrepreneur, having that ability, that grace to be able to make opportunities for yourself. And so really leveraging your volunteer experience and the different areas that you worked in or the different kinds of your personality. If you can bring all that to bear, folks are really looking for that well-roundedness right now more than ever.
Now, as we mentioned, a lot of folks are here attending this event as a form of professional development. And, also as a result of the pandemic, resources are scarcer. Many organizations have fewer dollars to support their employees' professional development right now. So what are some low cost or even no cost ways that people can continue to develop themselves professionally?
There's always great opportunities to read. There's so many books coming out every year. There's TED Talks that you can watch from the comfort of your home that's free. If you have a little bit to invest in, you can invest in courses like edX or Udemy or Coursera, or places that have top-notch courses. LinkedIn Learning is also a great resource. It's just a matter of getting clear about what you want to upskill on, and then finding the combination of self-study and online courses that can really help to move the needle for you.
Now, you mentioned networking earlier as a way that jobs can come up as opposed to just looking at the job boards. Of course, networking is a lot harder when people can't get together in person. Do you have any tips for our attendees who are here today about how to network effectively in virtual settings like this one?
In these moments, I think you have to be more creative. You have to really reach out to the speakers, the presenters, the folks that are coming to the career panels and the other events that are put on for networking. But this is the same issue we have when we're at conferences. There are lots of people around. Who do you talk to? How do you connect? And I think just getting out there and having a message and putting your profile out there and really just being curious can go a long way.
Thank you, Vic, for being here and sharing that advice. For more on advancing your career, be sure to visit the Career Center here at the virtual annual meeting. It's hosting 2 sessions today between 11:45 and 1:15. And as you network around the conference today, here are some of the folks you may run into.
Good morning, ASAE Annual 2020. This is Jay Daughtry with C Cubed. Greetings from Sterling, Virginia. What I'm looking forward to today is Duncan Wardle's keynote. Look forward to learning from him about innovation and design thinking. I'm also looking forward to opportunities to connect, communicate, and collaborate.
Cynthia Mills from the Leaders Haven. I'll be joining ASAE from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I'm very excited to be part of Priya Parker's session, The Game Changer, on how to be together apart. And I'm looking forward to learning more innovative and creative ways to be together, and also how to establish the rituals so that we keep the connection as our community.
Hi, I'm Nabil El-Ghouri, Executive Director of the California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists, and I'm streaming in from San Diego, California. I'm excited about the session, A Shift in the Balance, Next Gen Remote Work, because trust and remote work is so important in the new environment that we've been thrown into. And I want to hear what some next gen leaders have to say about trust and remote work.
Hi, I'm Samantha Whitehorn, and I'd like to welcome two of today's Learning Lab presenters to the show. Alexis Redman from the American Speech Language Hearing Association, and Maki Kato from the digital agency Matrix Group International. As you all know, COVID-19 has changed every aspect of our lives, especially work. While the quick pivot to virtual work environments has come with both positives and negatives, there's no doubt that associations are going to look and operate a lot different moving forward. Thank you for joining me, Alexis and Maki. Since you're both speaking about the future of work in your sessions today, I have a few questions for you about the next-gen workforce and workplace. Let's kick things off with you, Alexis. How have young professionals specifically benefited from the remote work experience?
With the current remote work experience, young professionals have really been able to step up and stand out, being able to take on new projects, as well as offer their expertise in the various things that their associations need. But more than that, we've gotten the opportunity to kind of live out the grand experiment of finally being able to have the flexibility to work from home and being able to kind of bring our best selves to the workforce by, being in our current environments.
Maki, I know last summer your office transitioned from a traditional configuration to a flexible, portable environment. Can you tell us a little bit about why your organization decided to make that change?
The decision was made because we were at the end of the lease, and we were noticing that many of our employees, while we still had the same number of employees, many were actually working from home more often or completely more than before. So while we had a floor space that accommodated all of us, we actually didn't need that, and we needed something like 75, maybe 65% of the floor space. So we looked to downsize just in the physical space.
Great, and I know that you're about a year into your transition, so can you talk about what improvements or benefits the organization has seen as a result?
Well, one of the things that we really focused on was to move as many resources to the cloud and to reduce on-premises equipment, IT equipment that is, so that we didn't have to manage it and we didn't have to store it, et cetera. And we also realized that the resources that all the employees were using, previously it was the exception that we had to accommodate the remote worker, but then we realized that, that's not going to be the exception. That's how we have to do it in the future. So we took away VPNs, we got rid of the domain controllers, and we moved, all the access to, so everybody now has the same access whether they're working from home or working from the office. Those are the major improvements that we gained.
Great. And Alexis, in addition to those flexible work environments that Maki just mentioned, what must associations do to ensure they can attract top-notch young professional talent moving forward?
Organizations are really going to have to make sure they have the infrastructure that Maki just referenced in terms of technology, but also with COVID, a lot of us have been encouraged to take more professional development. So making sure that when the environment changes back or changes to our new normal, that we don't lose that investment into individuals. They also need to make sure they have these cultures and structures that really nurture innovation and having different work styles and workplaces, just so that we are able to take in the diverse and wonderful talent that's going to be available.
Great. And this last question is for both of you. 5 years from now, what word or phrase do you think will describe the typical association workplace? Alexis, we'll start with you.
I think the typical association workplace is just going to be labeled as dynamic. It's going to be really responsive to what our members need, to what our staff need. I think this COVID has allowed us to really try out what's going to be the best fit, and like Maki's organization, really evaluate, is the brick and mortar the best way? Should we be more virtual? I think that's going to really open us up to attracting more talent from even the private sector. And so, having that flexibility is really going to allow the whole community to thrive.
Great. And what about you, Maki?
I think the future workplace will be more fluid. I think the technology is going to help with making things fluid and also more diverse. The technology will help us, work together in a diverse configuration.
Well, thanks to you both so much for speaking to me today. For more on the changing workplace, check out Alexis's session this morning at 11 and Maki's a little later at 2:15. Now let's introduce you to a few of our international attendees who are joining the meeting from around the globe.
How do I think associations are going to change or adapt in the next 100 years? It's such an interesting question, especially when we look at technology and just the impact that technology is going to have, to think about how much technology has changed in the last 5 years, and to think about just how much we've all had to adapt to technology in the last 6 months. It's amazing to think about the next 100 years and the way technology is going to change and impact. But I think what's not going to change for associations is just that important work they do to bring people together into a community.
I think global associations in the next 100 years will be much stronger, agile, and business savvy. Stronger as they will be more recognized as the third key sector alongside the public and private sectors in helping shape the sustainable development agenda worldwide.
To remain relevant, associations must be innovative and to foster innovation in their respective sectors. To be at the forefront, leading by example and showing thought leadership. This will ensure their long-term sustainability and ultimately their success.
When I think of the global association community, there's two areas of change that I see happening. One is that associations will be even more important in the future by leveraging partnerships with organisations that have similar purpose-driven missions, and by empowering a far broader community, perhaps not just members, a bigger community, to make sure we're all on the same path for positive change. The second thing is about how we meet. We now know that we can meet virtually and so much can be done. Knowledge can be shared. Research can be disseminated, but it's when we meet face to face. This is when it's going to be magical for not only the individual and what they are wanting to get out of it, but the association as well as the community where that meeting is being held. By having intended outcomes and being mission focused, we can really make a difference when we meet and in the communities where we meet.
No matter what's on your checklist, Dallas delivers.
Dallas does things bigger and better. The journey for a convention attendee starts at the airport. In Dallas, there's a world-class airport with easy access to downtown.
The reason I come to Dallas is to work with the people at Visit Dallas.
So many opportunities, great restaurants, bars, shops, arts and culture.
There is something there for everyone. We celebrate our diversity.
I love to have fun, and Dallas delivers that.
To see all the ways Dallas delivers, visit dallasdelivers.com.
That's a wrap for Associations Now Daily. Thank you again for joining us this morning and for being here with the whole ASAE community at the virtual annual meeting this week. The Associations Now team and all of us at ASAE are really looking forward to seeing you in person again next year in Dallas. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you then.